For me, the worst part about the standard restaurant or retail job is constantly having people like customers or also your manager always in your ear and telling you what to do. Imagine being able to work without all that, plus getting to choose your own hours. It's the type of opportunity that made me really want to jump at it and get out of retail. My goal is to persuade my audience that working as a food delivery driver is a practical full-time job. I'm qualified to speak on this topic because I have worked in food delivery service for over a year and I'm a registered driver with 5 different companies. I will do this by informing you all of how nobody will treat you as less than you are worth, how you can choose your own hours, how there are promotions and incentives pretty much everywhere, and how you can make a consistent amount of money as long as you are strategic about it. The thing that always used to irk me the most at my old retail job was constantly being managed and micromanaged by my boss. As long as you can respect and motivate yourself, then I believe that food delivery is a good job for you if you don't like constantly being told what to do. That brings me to my first point. You will never be disrespected by anyone. I have never once had a customer disrespect me because most of the time you don't even interact with them. 90% of the time, the customer will just text you before or leave you some message saying to just leave the food at their doorstep, take a picture, and just leave. They don't even want to interact, which is good for me. Every other driver that I've spoken to agrees 100% that this is like pretty much what happens every time. Based on my year plus of working as a delivery driver, I've noticed that the only people you do interact with are the workers in whatever establishment you're picking up from and your customers. The workers obviously will always treat you well and respect you because they're working just as you are and they understand that. I know that all sounds very appealing, but that's not even the best part. You can also choose your own hours. DoorDash and Uber Eats are 2 of the most popular and commonly used delivery apps. One of their main selling points when recruiting drivers is saying how flexible your schedule can be and how you can choose your own hours. I know this to be true because DoorDash states it on the app right when you sign up, as well as Uber Eats. Both companies also allow their drivers to see how much money they will make during each trip, and you can either accept or reject the offers with no consequences. On some days, where you may not be able to drive for a full shift, you may end up completing less deliveries, or maybe it's slow, and maybe you do have a bad day money-wise, but that's usually doesn't happen because even though you have to mostly rely on tips as your wage, you can still make a consistent amount of money if you do it right. Certain locations are higher earning and more consistent than most other areas. Driving and delivering in the right times of the day and in the correct locations is very important and very vital to your success as a driver. In the off chance that you do have a very unsuccessful and slow night and you don't maybe make as much money as you were hoping, or you didn't make as much as you have in the past, very often there are promotions and incentives that you can sign up for or participate in to make some extra money during your shift. It's like a little bonus. Let me tell you about those. It's very possible to make a great amount of extra money. There's a section in every delivery driver app that states what incentives and promotions there are and when and where they are. For example, there may be an incentive that states, complete 12 deliveries before Friday at midnight for an extra $250. And then there are also promotions. On Uber Eats, there's a promotion that they often do called Surge. In Millennial Moneyman's Uber Eats driver review, he states, Surge goes on when there's a high demand for drivers, and you'll see areas in your map light up red with an extra dollar amount showing how much you will make per delivery. So basically, there's a little map when you're on the app, and it will say in just one part of town it will be lit up red and there will be like $2 it will say on there. So that means every delivery that you do in that area, you will make an extra $2 per. So it's like a nice little bonus. Now I believe that I have informed you all of how nobody will treat you as less than you are worth, how you can choose your own hours, how you can make a consistent amount of money, and how there are often promotions and incentives. I believe that I have given a solid argument in an attempt to persuade my audience that working as a food delivery driver is a practical full-time job. Now, what is it that makes a retail job or restaurant job better? Nothing comes to mind.